although insisting it is neutral. The new Commonwealth is agreeing to let European forces occupy and defend uplink sites built in the UK and Ireland prior to the European Federation's founding in 2018, urging all of Russia to rise up and defend the motherland. President Kapalkin today dissolved all age and gender exemptions for military conscription. President Kapalkin today celebrated Russian arms manufacturers for exceeding production targets in all sectors. Warning that Russia's enemies are building military hardware in record amounts, President Kapalkin is urging citizens to prepare for protracted hostilities. President Kapalkin applauded the might of Russia's armed forces from his viewing stand in Red Square today. Thousands turned out to view spectacle, displaying images of recent military parades. President Kapalkin denounced the militarized fascism of Russia's enemies. The Pope of the Roman Catholic Church is again urging Europe and America to cease their aggression against Russia and each other. Terrorist Gogol 14 has been apprehended. The extranet hacker faces the death penalty for charges of sedition and attempted murder. Europe continues to round up dissidents opposed to its war of aggression. The latest victim, peace activist and hacker Paz Asur. America continues to round up dissidents opposed to its war of aggression. The latest victim, extranet hacker No War Man. President Kapalkin is characterizing last week's casualty figures as misleading for their failure to factor in vastly superior kill ratio of Russia's soldiers. A recent report shows that our enemies are paying a heavy cost to make war on our motherland. Sabotage of missile defense systems is being blamed for the destruction of the RFS Ulyanovsk supercarrier and 3 escort ships. The European supercarrier Jeanne d'Arc II and several escort ships were destroyed earlier today by massive airstrikes. The American supercarrier George Bush and several escort ships were destroyed earlier today by massive airstrikes. Citing that Israel has no desire to prolong the current war, Prime Minister Yossi Elon today announced the suspension of all military hardware sales to foreign powers. President Kapalkin is promising an immediate crackdown on the foreign agitators responsible for recent anti-Russian protests. It is possible we have been too lenient, he said. But no longer. Thousands of European citizens filled the streets to protest the unwinnability of the government's war on Russia. Thousands of American citizens have filled the streets of major cities to protest the unwinnability of their government's war on Russia. The equatorial drought is getting worse. Tens of thousands of climate refugees are being turned away from already overcrowded camps in South America, Africa, and India. President Kapalkin has escaped an assassination attempt in Moscow without serious injury. The plot appears to have been carried out by foreign agents. European President Nathalie Perrault has narrowly escaped assassination by civilians opposed to the war. American President David Becerra has narrowly escaped assassination. The car bomb attack was likely executed by citizens opposed to his war hawk policies. The death toll from South China Sea super typhoons Sephat and Linfa has exceeded 300,000 and is still rising. Heavy fighting continues in the streets of Astana following yesterday's surprise attacks by terrorist insurgents. President Kapalkin assured the public that Russian forces are winning the battle and that petroleum resources would remain secure. European forces are engaged in heavy fighting in the capitals of Libya and Nigeria, where heavily armed uprisings have caught them off guard. American forces are engaged in heavy fighting in the capital of Venezuela, where a heavily armed uprising has caught them off guard. With the global heat wave showing no signs of letting up, forest fires burn unchecked in the Amazon and the American West. Unruly mobs, agitated by enemy agents, have rioted in several Russian cities, requiring the deployment of tactical police and regular army units to restore order. European police and military units have been ordered to crush rioting by thousands of their own citizens opposed to making war on Russia. American police and military units are responding with iron fist to rioting by thousands of their own citizens opposed to making war on Russia, calling influenza M quarantine measures only partially successful. President Kapalkin is recommending that citizens stay indoors to minimize exposure and keep the streets clear. Another section of the Antarctic ice shelf has collapsed, bringing the year's total rise in sea level to 1.6 centimeters. President Kapalkin is denying rumors of food shortages, saying Chief of Agriculture Alexander Polyeva has guaranteed that food stores will last the winter and beyond. The death toll from this morning's detonation of a 15-kiloton nuclear device in St. Petersburg is expected to number in the tens of thousands. The death toll from this morning's detonation of a 15-kiloton nuclear device in Rome's city center is expected to number in the tens of thousands. The death toll from this morning's rush hour detonation of a 15-kiloton nuclear device in Los Angeles is expected to number in the tens of thousands. President Kapalkin is explaining his decision to invoke martial law as necessary to expedite food distribution, and that it would also help contain the spread of influenza M. A friendly reminder that curfew hours are being strictly enforced in all territories administered by the Russian government. SONSCRIPTION News will temporarily suspend broadcasts to address technical issues. Official government channels will continue to provide citizens with important news information. Thank you.